Welcome back to Niger Delta Today. Don't forget that you can watch Niger Delta Today on Star Times channel 140, and you can also watch on DSTV channel 258. Well, tributes poured in yesterday from across the Niger Delta as men and the military are remembered for the role they play in protecting the territorial integrity of the country. Now, governors in their respective states joined the president in paying homage to the gallant troops who sacrificed their lives to defend the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Across the Niger Delta, governors participated in the usual ceremony of laying wreaths other military rituals to honor the bravery and sacrifices of Nigeria's armed forces. The gathering also saw the attendance of military widows, spouses of fallen officers, and other family members who converged at various locations in states to pay their respect. In Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Edo, and Rivers and Delta, the story was the same, giving honor to whom honor is due. In Edo, Governor Pobolo cautioned against allowing the event that led to the Nigerian Civil War to repeat itself, while in Bayelsa, widows, the fallen heroes complained of neglect, calling on the government to ensure that the sacrifices made by the fallen heroes to keep Nigeria as an indivisible entity do not go in vain. In Akwa Ibom, the state governor, Pastor Umoino, prioritized the welfare of the families of fallen heroes by incorporating widows of fallen heroes in empowerment program. Let's take a look at activities across the region.
By signing up to defend the territorial integrity of our country or to restore peace at various flashpoints of violence, that they may end up paying the ultimate sacrifice. And that's what usually happens. Today, I direct the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Humanitarian Services not only to disburse money to these women, but to ensure that each and every one of them have something they are doing. They will look at their trade, they will improve their trade, and where possible, they'll send them to be trained in Ibom-led to ensure that they run their businesses well. I use this opportunity to again thank the Nigerian Security Services for working collaboratively with us to ensure we maintain the peace we enjoy here in our state.
Value your services and do not take it for granted. And that is why our government of assured prosperity is dedicated to offering them the essential support that they need to perform their duties efficiently. We thank God for the bravery and sacrifice of our fallen heroes and pray that in His infinite mercies He will comfort their families with His love and strength. May God bless our veterans and those of you who are still in active service.
There is a saying, coward dies many times before their death, but soldier dies only once. A soldier is an extraordinary character who voluntarily signed up to serve, if need be, lay down their life so others can live in peace. Only the brave can forsake the comforts of their family and home to protect the life and freedom of millions. Today, we honor the extraordinary courage that define these individuals, the unwavering commitment that transcends generation, and the patriotism that remains steadfast, whether in life or in death.
Joining us to fully understand the significance of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day is a security expert, SW Essien. Thank you for joining us, SW.
Yeah, thanks so very much.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
and I don't know how you feel being a retired officer fighting for the rights of, not for yourself, but people's rights. How does that feel?
Well, you see, I'm a Christian. I know despite Christ who died in order for some other persons to live, I think it is men and women in uniform that can die in order to protect somebody else's lives and their properties. So it is a very huge task for you to defend other person's life. It is not an easy thing, but I feel very proud that I was part of it for about 35 years, trying to ensure that there is peace and safety in the society in line with the provision of the Constitution. Because like the armed forces we are talking about, it is a product of the Constitution, though it did not start today. If you go to section 217, one in bracket, it talks about the formation of the armed forces of Nigeria. There shall be an armed forces for the Federation of Nigeria. The armed forces include the Navy that protect the sea, the Air Force that take care of the air, then the Army that go on land. So those are the ones that make up the armed forces. If you go to section 217, 2 in bracket, A, B, C, D, the functions of the armed forces is being clearly spelled out. They protect the country from external aggression, they protect our borders, they protect the territorial integrity of this great nation. They also help suppress insurrection, and they do other functions as may be prescribed to them by the act of the National Assembly, because we are in the civilian regime now. So whatsoever they want them to do must be made by the act of the National Assembly. So that is what they do. You see, the military in Nigeria has played a major role globally. Right from the very first World War that we were sent there, the Second World War, we were also there because our colonial masters, the British, when the war came, it was between the two blocks. It all depends on where you belong to. Nigeria then belonged to the British, empire. So they were conscripted into fighting for the cause of the British. I think the first one to have tried to build the military in Nigeria is Captain J. Glover from the Royal Navy. That started that in Lagos. They came in order to have influence politically, economically over the people that actually own the land. This military was formed in order to protect their economic interests, number one, against threat. That was one of the reasons why we have the military. As at that time, they performed both the police and the military duties. They ensure that there is peace and sanity, within the system. We now fast forward to 1960 and 66, the role played by the military. Before the independence, or after the independence, the military has a very little role to play. What they did was to, assist the civilian government and stabilize the situation. But by January 15, when the military struck, it took a different dimension. They now, involved themselves in politics from January 15 till 1979. That was about 13 years. During this period, you can see the number of soldiers that were killed in order to ensure that Nigeria remained as one entity. Even the coup d'etat claimed lives of both civilian and the military officers. We all know what happened during the counter coup of that same 1966, July to be precise, where a good number of people were killed.
So talking about coup,
yeah.
Recently we had coups in most African countries,
yeah.
But here in Nigeria, what would you say about the role the military might have played in the sustenance of democracy?
Yes,
in Nigeria?
You see, we have had long years of military rule, and in line with the constitution provision, they are not supposed to play a political role.
Yeah.
It is being kept for a certain class of people. Nigerian military has come out of age. That is why they don't want to involve themselves any longer. What they do is to ensure that there is stability in the system, that democracy that other countries are enjoying, we also enjoy in Nigeria. I see a situation where those countries that is being ruled by the military, their military, has not gotten to a stage where they will know that it is not their own, role to be involved in politics. Now I was trying to say something about the role played by the military.
Yeah.
During the Civil War, Gowon has the military head of state, uses the military as part of the state policies to ensure that Nigeria remain one united country. And so many of the military men lost their life in order to ensure that there is peace and stability in the system. To me as a person, whenever I speak, they say because you were once in the uniform. I think the men and women in the uniform has played a major role in making sure that Nigeria remain one united nation. I want somebody else to contradict this. There is none except the military and the police who have been able to fight day and night while you are sleeping. The military and the police are there patrolling and ensure that thief does not break into your house.
Yeah.
And you'll be snoring, and at the end of the day, so He paid dearly for his life. So they need to be celebrated. Yes, they need to be celebrated. Like the day set aside, January 15, for the celebration was the day the first coup took place in Nigeria. And, you know, the coup, the civil war also ended, I think, around that January period.
Okay.
But that 15, to be specific, was the day the first military coup. They now set it aside in order to honor men and women that have made it possible for Nigeria to remain one united nation. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's narrow it down a bit to the Niger Delta region. Now, what military participation have we had so far, especially in taming militancy in the region, with the rising issues of oil theft here and there? Have there been some form of participation in
Yes. You see, like in the Constitution, the military are supposed to play supporting role to the police. When the police is overpowered, when the police is overstretched, overwhelmed, the military then will come in with superior firepower. In fact, during the militancy, I was still in this, service. The police tried; they couldn't sustain it. Mind you, if you go to that section 2172 in bracket, I think D, they talks about suppressing insurrection. It is part of the military duty. It is clearly stated in the Constitution. So they have to do that. That was why the military were called in order to make sure that there is peace and sanity. You know, we are running mono economy. If they should allow them to destabilize the oil production in Niger Delta, it's going to affect the whole nation. So that was why the head of state said, look, military should go and do their job. And they actually did it. And that is why we are having peace today in the Niger Delta, with the collaboration of the good people of Niger Delta who believe in peace and stability of this great nation. Because the military wouldn't have succeeded except with the cooperation of the indigenous. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So even with the increase in crude oil, the crude oil in production has increased.
It is
Also
as a result of the role played by the military.
intervention of the
Yes,
military.
because the bunkering and the destroying of pipeline had been curtailed.
Yeah.
Yes, because the military had intervened, they have been able to play their role. It is their duty to do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's also look at some of these significant activities of the military. There's the part, I think maybe some people don't really understand some of those significance of the laying of wreath, the flying of the pigeon. What does it really represent to those?
Pigeon itself stands for peace.
Okay.
Yes, pigeon stands for peace. Globally, whenever there is armed forces remembrance there, you see the pigeon being released, it is for peace. Yes, it is as simple as that. The military too had played a major role, not only in Nigeria. You know the role the Nigerian army played in Liberia and Sierra Leone. They went there in order to stop the spreading of violence from country A to country B. If it happened in Nigeria, if the foreign country failed to intervene on time, it's going to affect the whole West African region. Mind you, with a population of about 206 million Nigerians, if there should be a problem in Nigeria, the whole economy of West African countries must definitely collapse, because none of them can withstand the population that will migrate from Nigeria to those countries. So that was exactly what Nigeria did in Liberia and Sierra Leone. They went there and restored democracy to the two countries. So the Nigerian army had been to Congo. They have been to several countries, Yugoslavia, Sudan, all over the places. In fact, this is one of the best military in the world, wherever they go out on the United Nations assignment.
Do you think government does enough to honor these fallen
Yes,
heroes?
recently the president of Nigeria, the current president, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, rolled out special retirement benefit for the military. The general, for instance, the chief of defense staff, which is a four-star general, if you're retired, is going to be given $20,000 to go on a medical tourism. Yes, and UV's vehicle and the rest of them, the service chiefs too are entitled to $20,000, and the rest of them, I think Major General and Brigadier, I think about $15,000. Those are the things you do in order to encourage those that are still serving. Now there is hope. For me, if I should retire, this is what I'm going to benefit. And these are the things you do. You take away negative thinking from their mind. So the president had done enough by, trying to improve on the welfare of the military. They deserve that because they have really worked for it. Yes, there's no two ways about it. So we should do more by also taking, I heard the governor of Akwa Ibom said, promising to give, the widows something. Yes, in a civilized country, on the other countries, there is a provision like housing, if your husband died, they go to your village and put up something for you. Some of them who died, they not even have a house before they die. So the government should go beyond giving them money to, trade or, giving them skill. They should prepare a special housing scheme in each of the local government in Nigeria, the 774 local government. If Okona Sokwa, who is Mbo, died, the local government there will join with the state government and the federal government and provide, structure for the family that have been left behind by a man who laid down his life. He paid the supreme price in order to ensure that Nigeria remain one united nation. We should go beyond what we are saying today.
All right. Outside the government, will you say that we as Nigerians, as individuals, truly appreciate the role of the military, in keeping the society safe? What can we do as individuals to encourage them?
You see, we are seeing, growing. In order, to climb, the corporate bodies, the multinational companies are fully involved. They have special insurance. For instance, in Lagos State, if you are a policeman, you serve in Lagos State, you sustain injury or you die. In fact, they are the first to take care of your problem. So the multinational companies should also be involved. I think they pay certain tax. There's a certain tax they pay in order to assist the government in taking care of the military, while those who are alive are those who have gone. So, but they should go beyond that. After all, when the men are posted to them, they protect them from being killed, they protect their properties. So if one or two persons should die, they should also be able to contribute. The local government, it should start from the local government to the state and the federal and the military authority itself. All the same should also go to other security operatives who are working day and night in ensuring that there is safety in the country.
Why we mentioned the questions if the government and the people is doing enough is that when we look at the lives of the foreign heroes, look at their families, to look at even those who are still serving, some of these people in the course of their duty loses a part of their bodies, some are in the process dead or mentally are not sound. And it feels like, are we really doing enough for these people?
Well, I have to be sincere to God Almighty. We have not done enough. We should do, that's why I say we should do more than we've seen today. Like you rightly said, some have become PWD. That's persons with disability. They were not born like that. But it is operational hazard that led to where they are today. So we should do something to, I have friends in the military, have in the police, because in an attempt to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, they sustained major injury. And they were discharged from the service because when the board meet, and they decided to say, okay, you are medically unfit to continue, because disabled person can serve in the military or the police. So before they discharge you, there should be a special provision made for you so that you will go home a proud man. You will go home a proud Nigerian and say, yes, the injury I have sustained is as a result of an attempt to defend my country, Nigeria, and I have been rewarded fully. We should do more than that.
Let's look at issues after retirement. For those who have survived through the years of service and retired, I don't know, like we see in other climes where some officers after retirement are employed into private sectors and some are given some preferences. Do we have that in Nigeria?
We have that to an extent, but if you look at the life after retirement, be it in the military or the police, it's almost the same. It is a sad story that after 35 years, or some of them retired prematurely because of maybe injury sustained while on duty. What they give to them is not all that good. Occasionally, you look at your television, the military, some of the military go on demonstration. They riot in an attempt to get their pensions, monthly pension. They shouldn't protest. These are people that have, paid their due. They should be given on time. And you see, when I went to Yugoslavia and peacekeeping mission, I discovered that retirement is not supposed to be in form of a punishment for a man that has served to defend his own country. When a man told me it's better for him to die than to live, I said, why? He said, because his family will be taken care of. I said, you don't try that in Nigeria, because sorry will be your name. Yes, I said it. I was going to tell him. But thank God today, as we speak, things have changed drastically. The present government, in fact, this is the highest that any government has done to the military. That some of the general retired and go home and be looking for mortgage in order to build a house. But with this, recent, welfare packages rolled out by this government, in fact, they will not have. It starts from the general down to the last man in the military. Yes, there's nothing like discrimination. So it is a good thing that they are going to be taken care of, but they should improve on it.
Well, yes. SW, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
Now, how do we address the issue of bad eggs and abuse of power, which could one way or the other affects the way the military is being appreciated in the country.
Anyway.
Because there are people that, you know, like what happened in Kwame, we have several cases that are ongoing.
Not just Kwame, there has been the recent,
supremacy by the military.
there has been a recent interview with Chief of Defense Staff where he was asked on some of the allegations that some of the military officers are conniving, compromising with with bandits and terrorists to terrorize some areas of the country. How then do we handle this situation?
Well, for you to accuse me of being a thief, you have to provide. You have to provide the fact.
Okay.
You have to prove it beyond every reasonable doubt that Essien is a thief. We cannot just go on there and say, look, the military are conniving with the, you know, bandit in order to do this or that. Anybody can do that, but to prove it is always very difficult. But I may also agree with that questionnaire to an extent that in every 12 there must be a Judas. Yeah. Yes. For instance, under the role of engagement, even the one from the United Nations, it gives the military power, the authority to defend their life first. Because if I'm to protect you, I must have to protect myself first. But if they said other people are trying to be funny by trying to align themselves with the bandit, when I am not there, but it should be investigated. Anybody found culpable should be punished. I don't rule out totally that no man in Nigeria can do that. A man was asked, the late IG of police, Sunday Adewusi, he said, the mobile policemen, when we were there, they call us kill and go. They were very violent, this and that, but the commissioner police are taking bribe. The man asked them, where were they recruited from? Were they recruited from heaven? They said, no. Is it Nigeria? He said, yes. He said, the system is corrupt. So we should start from our home, from purging ourselves from criminal tendencies. We teach our children these days how to cheat right from primary one. When they become officers in the military, they will continue from there. So it starts from home. So the system itself, the society itself is corrupt. There is no country in the world that is free from corruption, but we can tame it, we can bring, with what the president has done, I think the issue of, you know, conniving, conspiring with criminal will be reduced because,
the issue of abuse of power, it doesn't have to
What do you mean by abuse of power?
Like, for instance...
You see an army man with a gun, you go and slap an army man.
No, not that. For instance, we would have a long queue at filling stations. And because there's it's a military man, he will, you know, bypass the queue and then go there.
How do you know he's a military man? Was he in uniform?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
For you to see one policeman along the street of London, it's not an easy thing. How much more a military man driving to the filling station? It is only in Nigeria we wear our uniform the way we like. It's not supposed to be so. Okay. Yes, it's not supposed to be so. And at times I see police patrol team, even the army cars going to the filling station to get fuel. It's not supposed to be so. In an organized society, they should have their own fuel dump.
Their own fuel.
Yes, even some of these fuel dumps should be sold to the officers, not going to the filling station. What is the difference between a man in uniform and a man that is not in uniform? Today, as I'm seated here, I don't wear uniform any longer. I'm not a civilian. So they should also join the queue. Between 31st December 1983, I think, and August 29, 1985, there is what was on ground then called War Against Indiscipline. Both the military and the police, if you get to the bus stops in Lagos, I was in Lagos, everybody queue, irrespective of the uniform you're wearing, because you are supposed to set example. Because if you are talking about discipline, it is the security agencies that we have discipline. I can't imagine if you are my boss, then I see you, I will not give you a compliment. Query will come. Okay. Yes, query will come. Yes, right. Yeah, query will come. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and getting to share the contributions of the military and why we really need to celebrate them. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, now, and thank you so much. We'll be taking a break. After the break, when we return, we'll look at the journey of the ADB and smartphone filmmaking workshop. So far, what it's like, and the voting process. You don't want to miss that. Stay with us.